Okay, it's blinking, which means it's recording and it's working. Cool. Hi, everybody.
Hello, welcome to our virtual book club connection Zoominar.
Welcome.
Zoom webinar.
We're so excited to be here and we're so excited to do this. Some of you may have joined into the lives that Eleanor and I did on Facebook to promote this and to give you little tidbits of what this is going to be about. So maybe some of you saw that and saw the different lives, and now we're putting all that information that we said on the lives into one virtual training session, which is this session. So we're really excited to put it all together for you.
Yes. So let's move on to the next slide. So a few housekeeping situations here. So if you can just mute your microphones and unmute them when you want to speak at your will, but just in case you have some background noise or you decide to multitask and type, we want to focus the sound on our voices. But also if you're about to start eating or moving the camera around, maybe turn the camera off. But we love your presence here and we still want you to be here. So just be mindful of other participants in the group and other people who will be viewing the replay. We're just going to go into quick intros for those of you who don't know us. And then we're going to dive into what the virtual book club connection is and the formula so that you can take this and implement it on your own. And then we'll be taking some questions. And finally, we'll give you an opportunity to take this work and customize it for your work through us, to how we can work together if you choose to do that. Move on. All right, so here's us, an introduction of us. I'm the one on the left. I'm Eleanor Cohen. In the picture, I have straight hair, but really one of the things you remember me by is my curly hair. So I don't know why I straighten my hair for these professional pictures, but in any case, I'm a marketer and I've been a marketer since 2005. I've been a digital marketer since then and doing all the things that have to do with marketing and really advertising, like writing copy, finding your ideal clients, writing to an audience, online advertising, acquiring customers online with paid advertising. In the past, I'd say 5 years, I've been diving more deeply into mindset coaching, being coached myself and coaching other people. Entrepreneurs mostly, and what I've recently focused on a lot, which I love doing, and I find where my gift is, helping people find their voice and help them speak the language of their community so that they can create a community around their teachings and help people carry their teachings for them. And Yasmin?
Excellent. Yeah. So I've also been around quite a while in the digital marketing and social media realm and landscape since 2007 and even before in traditional marketing. So really what I bring to the table is my expertise in this landscape, in digital marketing, social media, knowing all the technology changes that are taking place, and that is like almost every day on social media. It's just insane trying to keep up with those changes. And then very strong in, all this comes with strong project management, a marketing strategy, and flawless execution, because that's what you need to have when you're doing these programs, is you need to make sure that everything is executed precisely. It's so important. And then, the latest thing is getting into community building, which is so exciting. And I just love doing it on social media. It's all about community building, and it's so strong right now. And that's really what we wanted to talk to you about, or even a big section of this training is community building and building that online and finding your tribe.
Because it's become also so clear that there are more and more people who are looking for a deep connection with other people on the same, like-minded people who are the same as them, who have an understanding of, grief or spirituality or animals, but people are really looking to connect with a community and to have a community of support behind them. So this is why we're doing this.
Absolutely. So So really when we talk about this virtual book club, it's like what Marla, she came in saying, are we going to read a book? But no, it's not really that. It's like it's a dedicated online space where an author or a teacher can deliver his or her message and purpose beyond the book to a group of people who are looking to connect and being inspired to take action through the teachings of this book or through the teachings of this teacher. So this teacher could, if he or she doesn't have a book to write himself, he can bring in teachings and other books and read chapters and engage with people through other people's books. So it's really the connection here, the book club connection is really about creating a community of support where people come into a private, and private is, the word to emphasize here, or a closed Facebook group, and they feel really safe and supported to open up and share on a deep level, as Eleanor said, and really contribute, their experiences to other like-minded people. And this is something that's very unique and isn't found anywhere else on a social media platform. We've seen incredible results from this platform. So
if I can just chime in for a second.
Yes, please.
Just to quickly, I think also something that's worth mentioning is that we worked with a lot of people who seem to have this like real desire to spread their teachings and are very committed to it, the teachings or whatever it is that they wrote about, but then they get onto social media and it's like, it gets so weird and, are people listening? Is anybody there? But when they step into a book club, it's like a container of intention and they really step into their wisdom and teachings and there's no weirdness about it. It's like people know why they're there and what you're going to talk about ahead of time. And so it becomes a lot more natural. And we've seen like the experts and authors we've worked with just kind of like relax into going live, sharing, and being consistent about it over time.
So where does it take place? As I mentioned, it takes place in a private Facebook group and it's connected to the author's Facebook page. Okay. And how does it actually work? So the formula that we've discovered is that the author shows up regularly, once a week, reviewing the books chapter by chapter in this dedicated Facebook group, or reviewing his teachings, whatever his teachings might be, he's going to be reviewing them in the group once a week. So the prerequisite for people to join the group is that they should buy the book. They must buy the book. So obviously book sales are going to jump through this, and follow the author. And the meetings become very interactive because the people read the chapter before the book club meeting happens, or they read the teachings. So they get, they have questions. Lots of their questions get answered. There's a lot of interaction between the people in the group, and a lot of deep connections are formed and are taken actually out of the group. Some people share, go on to one-on-one connections themselves. So it just becomes a wonderful group of loyal buyers and followers.
And the most importantly, I think that real human to human connections are formed when you show up consistently and teach. You'll start seeing people are interested and engaged and asking you questions. You really see that people start coming to you. There's no convincing, there's no selling, there's none of that. It's just you standing up in your wisdom, teaching, and you're forming a connection this way because you're showing up consistently. You're forming the like, trust, the know, like, and trust factor, right?
So why would an author want to even have a book club connection? So there are many reasons. When you write a book, or even when you are a teacher, you put a lot of time and effort into writing your book, and you don't know how to get it into the hands of people outside of Amazon or the other online sites that your book is featured in. People stand back and just say to themselves, now what? It's on Amazon, but it's still not going anywhere. How do I put together a plan to get this book and my message to more people? So that's one thing, is to get to get your book into the hands of more readers. The other thing is to really create a stage of thought leadership and spread your message and cast a wider net. And many authors want to create an impact by the teachings of their book. It's soul-centered work, and they want to get it out there. They want to create an impact. And it's also an opportunity to create a body of work and a legacy to leave behind that's beyond the actual pages of the book. The book in the book club comes to life, if you will, or lots of other reasons. It's to create an audience that is engaged and talking to you. It's as Eleanor said, it's to stop chasing people and have people come to you. And then it's also really, really important. It's such a natural way to then sell people your programs. It's kind of an extension of your teachings. When people know, like, and trust you from this book club and the interactions that you've been having online, they'll be more prone to want to work with you and to enroll in any of the programs or your services that you've got going. And the last thing is, if you are a book author and you're thinking of doing and securing a second book deal, it's a perfect way to create a following for you and to show your publishers what you've done with your first book. And now you want a second book deal, and it really puts a lot of gas under the fire.
Gas under the fire. I like that.
The book club, again, it's not so much about the quantity versus the quality of the audience that you're going to create. I mean, obviously you want 10,000 people in your community, but it's not about that. It's really about getting those target people that are going to join your book club and be on your mission.
Yes. All right. So before we get into the formula, I just want to clarify, set some expectations about what we're going to talk about and what it is not. It's really important for me to go through this so that you understand what you're about to learn and the results that it can have. So this is not a magic pill. This is, again, like Yasmin said, not about getting a lot of people to like your business page or for tons of people to join your Facebook group. It's about getting the right people into your group who know and are interested ahead of time in your teachings. All right, so they're already interested, they want to be there and listen to you. Now there's some work to be done. There's a mission to outline. I'm going to go through that in just a couple of minutes. There's words to be articulated, and there's work to be done on how to speak in the language of your community. And sometimes this takes time and tweaking and reiteration until you find that sweet spot of what you're saying and how they hear it. Because sometimes we make assumptions about what people want to hear, and when there's no response, it's not because the teachings aren't good or there's no place for it or people don't want it. It's just because the messaging is a little bit, is heard differently on the other side. And we have to also learn how to show up in a way on a video, how to speak in front of people in a way that's engaging and a way that will get people onboarded to your missions. And there's some strategy here to implement. So this isn't something that takes like one time and, that's it. You kind of need to feel it out. And also, we're giving you a formula here. And I have to say that each business and person is unique. So you need to find your pace in this whole thing. And this, again, is not something that can work without the help of an email list or an existing following. It can be offline too, but you need to have some sort of expertise behind you and people who you have served and who know you. There needs to be an email marketing system in place, because one of the things we're going to talk about is a cross-platform way of communicating with people. And we need to have assets like images, possibly a designer or virtual assistant, somebody who will take care of all the technical things that happen in the background that's invisible to your customers, but not to us. Maybe you do this, but this is something that needs to be done. You can move on to the next slide. having said all that, the results and the outcomes are clear. What we've seen is that authors get more book reviews. There are more book sales. Now, this isn't the point of this. We come from a place of wanting to get your mission out there, but more book sales and reviews are a nice byproduct. You have a more engaged audience. So if before you've heard crickets on the other end of the social media, of your social media profile or group, trust me when I tell you, the floodgates will open and people will start coming to you. You'll have a more targeted email list. So part of this initiative is to build your email list, and you'll have an organic method of selling and offering people to help them, help them take the work more deeply.
Absolutely.
So let's get down to business and discuss the formula. The formula consists of 4 parts. It is your mission, your communication strategy, content that is targeted to your audience, and execution. Without execution, none of this will be possible. Next slide. All right, so your mission and compelling why. This is the topic that I get most excited about, because I get really excited when I see someone who is completely rooted in their authentic mission and why they are doing what they're doing. So let me ask you, what is your compelling why and what is your mission? By the way, I sent worksheets that you can follow with this Zoominar. And in the worksheets, I have a framework of how to frame your mission. So if you have those worksheets, please open them. If not, I'm just going to pop them right here in the chat. I'm going to pop the link to it. It's a Google Doc. So I'm going to chat it to everyone right here. Here it is. You could just click on it and open it up. And so some of you might already know what your mission is, and others of you might still need to formulate it better to make sense to you and to make sense to others. And some people like to make it general, but if the whole point is onboarding people onto your mission, help you carry it, there needs to be spoken in a language that is relevant to them and will resonate with them. So part of it is saying it in a way that they'll be able to wrap their minds around their mission. And I did this on a previous live, but if you've missed it, I'm going to give you here the framework of how to create a compelling mission. So the first thing you have to say, you have to include in your mission statement, which is your statement of intent, right? What kind of change or impact do you want to create? Why this inspires you? Then you have to quantify the impact. Now, and give it an end date. So it doesn't, nobody's actually going to measure you and see if you've achieved this number, but you definitely want to put a number around it. So for example, I want to help 1 million animals find homes in 2020. And then you have to tell your audience, your community, what is in it for them, which is really important. I think a lot of people miss this. People are very self-motivation driven. They want to know what's in it for them. So something that a very simple one is, I love it when kids are inquisitive and want to understand themselves better. And so I want to help 5,000 elementary school kids learn to tune into their inner voice through journaling and meditation by the end of 2020. This will create a more peaceful household for you and your family. Will you help me get there? Right? Another one I have is, I want to help people find their voice because it inspires me so much to feel the energy of certainty and wisdom in someone's teachings. I know how frustrating it can be to feel like you aren't able to express your purpose. And I believe everyone who is alive has a purpose to express. I want to help 500 people find their voice and carry their missions by 2020. So this is the framework. I created an exact framework for you to use and blanks to fill out. And it's really important throughout this process that you map out the story of why you came to this mission. And it usually has to do with some challenge you overcame or something that happened which created some belief for you and was life-changing for you. Now you want to help people do it also. I'm just going to chime in with a very, very quick story of why I came up with my mission and how I tell it. So when I was in 3rd grade, I was a foreigner to the US and I didn't speak English. And so the teacher gave me a sign to hold up when I had to use the restroom. And I mean, it was very embarrassing, but this is what it was. I didn't realize how, unkind that was, and now I do. So I raised my sign one day, went to the restroom, came back, and I guess I took too long. And this woman, the teacher, screamed at me in front of the entire classroom. And I didn't know English well then, and I wasn't confident enough I didn't have any confidence in speaking and answering her and explaining to her why it took me so long or what I was doing. And I just kind of stood there mortified, feeling like I will sound stupid in what I will say. And I felt this like stuckness in my throat, and I wanted to say something, but I couldn't say it. And I felt like my voice was kind of lost. And so throughout my life, even when I sat around in meetings around other people and I had something to say, I feel this thing in my throat, and I wanted to voice myself, but I had this like icky feeling that I would sound stupid. And so I never did. It took me a long time to realize where this was, because I had this story attached to me. And I had to work through that. But this is why I want to help people find their voice. And this is the story that I want you to kind of think about. Like, why did you come to this world with this mission that you have, or the teachings that you want to spread through your book? If you want to move to the next slide, please. So the next piece, the next slide. The next piece is the communication strategy. So the communication strategy has two pieces to it. I'm going to go through the creating excitement piece, and then Yasmin will go through the second piece. So we typically say that you need at least 1 month to create the content and excitement before launching this book club. You need to give people time to purchase the book, which is a prerequisite to joining the virtual book club. The goal of this phase is to get people, as many people as possible who are interested in you and your teachings, to join the group. You need typically a 4-month lead time to plan this out and execute this fully, depending again on your business and your book and how many chapters, etc. So people will need to have the book to participate. So right off the bat, we're creating excitement about the book and the teaching. Just go into your whatever it's in, and just kind of ask people, would you be interested in joining a private Facebook club? It will be free. I will be leading it. It will run once a week. We'll talk about my book. We'll talk about these teachings. Comment below and I will send you more details when it's ready to launch. And then you can give them an incentive saying something like, P.S. the first 5 people who comment get a free copy of the book, or get my free meditation, or get something for free, or a workbook that I've created. And after that, you'll have some level of understanding about the level of interest in doing this, right? And you need to kind of post this, if you're doing this on social media, if you're gauging interest in social media, you need to do this a few times and post regularly, because it will go down in a newsfeed and it might not reach as many people as it could, but post about it a couple times. The second piece to this is you need to then create more excitement on your personal page or business page to your existing network about this upcoming project. Also to your email list, and sending personal emails and sending personal Facebook messages, inviting people, personal invites, inviting people to this initiative, to this, to your Facebook group. So some of the things that we found successful is Facebook Live, the specific and exciting topics and ideas that get people on the lives all the time and kind of piques their interest, is calling it What I've Been Up To. Why am I doing this crazy thing? Yasmin and I did live a few to kind of create excitement about our Zoominar. Is we put a headline that says we're having a baby. And we were talking about having a business baby and birthing a new project, the virtual book club. And people messaged us more offline than online, asking us like, what is this thing about you having a baby? What's going on? And so there's things, creative things you can do to get people interested in what you're doing. Or another really good topic to discuss to get people excited is what I've been up to and what is my new mission for 2020. Here's the big mission I am on. Do you want to help me? people will get on this live, people will comment, people will engage with you. That's actually a topic that's proven to get a lot of excitement from people. Let's see if there's any other creative things. So we just want to be creative in your stories and in your mission. Telling stories is is the occurring theme around this whole thing. You always want to be telling stories about you, yourself, giving examples of your day-to-day, how you're impacting people through your mission, how you are interacting with people, how you are living your mission. This is one of the most important things, and through stories. If you don't have a big network, another way to do this is to use Facebook ads to target a specific audience with some sort of freebie to come into your Facebook group, and telling them also when they join, they will participate in the book club. And there's a way to funnel them into buying the book and to joining the group. You can also co-promote on other platforms, like I said, including email, if you're active on Instagram. Another thing is, if you have something that I and Yasmin do all the time, is that we have partners and we create the content for them to share on our behalf. And they're happy to do this because they have no work to do besides share us. We help them, they help us. They share and they tell people about this amazingness that's happening and invite people in their communities that will resonate with our teachings. I mean, we don't contact people whose audiences aren't similar or who wouldn't benefit from what we do to do this. But we give them all the work ahead of time, so they virtually have nothing to do besides share the content. And so what ends up happening is the result is people join the group and you are building an email list. Now, the point of this, it's very, very, very important. If you can move it to the next slide, it's very important to get people on your list. Not just invite them to the group, but to get people to join a list, right? And then when they receive their after they sign up, they receive a special invite, a special link to the Facebook group. So I'm just going to give you an example of something that we've done. Yeah. Can you open up the landing page for the book club that we've used in the past?
So let me just scroll up a second. This is the landing page that we have used for one of our clients, Joan Ranquet. And you can see, you want to walk through this, Eleanor?
Yeah, yep. So there's certain pieces that you need to have in a successful landing page. You need to have obviously a headline telling people where they are. So the book club, the date that it starts, a picture of you. Images are super important, holding up your books. If you can scroll down, a little bit of an introduction and what you're about, and a little bit about the book club. It's really, really important to tell people, to let people know what to expect. So we have mapped out every single thing that's going to happen, all the dates of the book club, all the times that this author showed up was consistent every single week at the same time. The prerequisites: you must order a book. You have to read each chapter before the meeting. Then you must show up in good spirit and ready to learn. And then they receive a free gift, right? A token of appreciation. Anyone who buys a book gets a free signature meditation. This meditation is something that our client was using in her courses. And just to kind of tell people, if you will love this book, this is why you should come. And then specific instructions on exactly what it is that they will need to do in order to receive the link to the Facebook group and join the book club. So if you can just scroll down. And then we have a simple form.
This is the form.
This is the form. People fill it out. They sign up. And then they receive this thank you page. You can go to the thank you page.
Thank you page.
Thank you page looks pretty much the same. Yeah. But if you can scroll down, it gives them instructions. Here's what you'll need to do. These are the links to our books. This is how you can join my private Facebook group. And after you purchase the book, keep an eye in your inbox and you'll receive the meditation. So after they receive this thank you page, they're also receiving an email with this exact information so it can be saved in their inbox, and a link to the free meditation. It's a very simple process. And at the same, while you're inviting people to the group, you're also creating an email list. And you'll see why this is important in just a moment, but you want to have cross-platform communication. As you know, and maybe you don't know, but you have to constantly remind people of things. We are so filled with noise and information. People need to be reminded all the time about your mission, about the book club, about the summaries, what they've read. And actually, this is the piece people enjoy the most, because not a lot of people will join the live readings and the live discussions, but they do want to see the summaries and watch the replays.
So Eleanor, can you see the screen now that says communication strategy? Or are we still?
No, we're still in the landing page. I think you need to reshare your PowerPoint.
Okay, hang on a second. Just let me reshare it. Okay, can you see it now?
No.
Hang on a second. Share PowerPoint. Sorry. Here we go.
Yes.
Now? Okay. So once we have launched the book club, or not launched the book club, once we've created a Facebook group, right? I'm gonna share my screen in a second, but basically we're talking about what we're going to do in the Facebook group right now, and that means that we need to have a strong communication plan. And how are you going to communicate with your community in between the book club meetings? Like we said that you're going to go live once a week, and what you're going to do, how you're going to let people know beforehand that there's a meeting coming up, and how you're going to keep people engaged through that week. So there are many things that you can do in the Facebook group that keep people alive and engaged. So as people are, first of all, just take into account that if you can't do this on your own, or you don't have enough time, you must get a community manager to manage the Facebook group and to keep people engaged. If you feel that you want to do it on your own, you must know that it does take quite a lot of time and resources to do it. So just putting that caveat there. So you must always welcome people. They're going to be people, especially when you're doing the promotion and you're talking about what you're going to be doing. There are going to be lots of people, hopefully, that are going to be joining the Facebook group. So you want to be welcoming people. You want to be featuring them. You want to ask them to please introduce themselves so people get to know them. We found this has been such an incredible way for people to interact with each other, and they start discussions and asking each other questions and finding that they have familiar things or things in common with each other. So it's a great way of getting the group going. It's also really nice to have a video introduction in the group of yourself, how, introducing yourself, what you expect from this Facebook group, what your mission is, what your message is, what your vision is for this group. It's very intimate and people really love that. You can also ask lots of questions, as people are joining. Why have you joined the group? What do you hope to get out of this group? Do you want to receive any more information on how we can work together? There are all sorts of questions that, you or your community manager can ask when people join the group.
If I could just chime in for a second, this is one of the most important things that you can do, because you can learn about your audience on a deeper level by asking the questions. So, when you join a group, there's like admin questions you have to answer before. A lot of people take the time to answer those questions. We're going to show you how to record them and how to follow up on them. But it's really important to formulate the right questions as people are joining.
Right. So, and, have your clear policies put together, have a really nice, engaging cover photo for the group. And I'm going to share this page with you so that you will give you an example. So this is an example. Again, we're just looking at Joan Ranquet's page, and she's one of our clients that we're working with. So this is her Facebook group, and if you've never been in, I don't want to take too long here because we've got a lot to go through. But you know, I'm sure a lot of you have been on Facebook groups, but this is where I'm pointing now. This is the cover photo that changes whenever we have new topics. It changes and it goes into the news feed, into people's news feed and members' news feeds. You can see here on the left-hand side where my mouse is. Can you see it, Eleanor? You can see it. So you can see there's the About section, and that's a section where you very clearly define what this group is about. Then there's the discussion section, which is all the posts that Joan has been posting and other people are posting as well. And then very importantly, there's the unit section where you can put your weekly lives into units so that people can access them very, very easily, and it's well organized. So in Joan's case, we had many different Facebook lives going on here, energy healing for animals and animal communication. So people could just go to the units and could access whichever Facebook live they were interested in doing. Here you've got announcements. If you want special announcements that are coming up, you can always put them here.
I'm just going to chime in for a second. This is what's unique about using Facebook groups, because it doesn't exist in other platforms. Unless it's like a bot service of a community service platform, but you can actually create a real teaching platform here. As you can see, people can reference units, you can upload documents. It's very easy to follow a specific method in teaching on this platform, and it's free. It's free. It's free.
It's a great platform, and we got into why Facebook is promoting these Facebook groups so much, because it's all about a community and building community, and that's what their algorithm is all about. So we won't get into that now, but there's lots of information on that, and I can certainly send you more information. But moving on, so there's the whole member section, but as you look at the landing page of the Facebook group, you can see instantly how many members you have. Currently, there are 2,803 members. You can search your members, and you can invite new people. You can invite all your friends to come. You can invite anybody, which is such an incredible tool. And then you can go in and there's a message here every time somebody joins you. There's a message here from Facebook, and it's a counter to say how many new members have joined your group this week, and you can write a post. And when you click write a post, it automatically brings up all these members and tags them, and you can say, let's welcome our new members, welcome, fantastic, and you can post it, and all these members will get a tag that you have welcomed them. And that is just incredible, because there's such a sense of belonging, and they say thank you, they discuss, they share what they're feeling. So it's really, really nice. It's an incredible platform. It's just amazing. So you can also, jumping back to the left-hand side, you can go into the actual members portal, and you can see all the members. You can see who the moderators are. You can see all the members. You can search them. You can see when they've been active last. There's just a lot of information here that you can garner about the members of your group. You can also see where they're from, what countries, what age groups they are. If you go into the events section, you can schedule events here. There's all the videos that can be found, so people can access your videos very easily, all your photos. And here's when you can see your group insights. It's not very complex. It's not, as Facebook ads has it, it's not as complex as Facebook advertising, but you can certainly get a sense of who your members are and when they joined and what they've been doing. So you can moderate your group very well. You can see the quality of your group. And when people join the group, you can't see it here because I'm already a member, but when they join the group, they ask to fill in 3 questions. You can have as many as 3 questions. And it's really interesting, again, as Eleanor says, to gauge who your audience is. So you can ask them, you know, in this case, what do they feel their level of animal communication is? And you can poll them. They can choose 1, 2, or 3, or beginner, intermediate, advanced. And so it gives you a very good idea of who that member is and what their background is, and how you can then reach out to them further along the line. So when I scroll down here, the funny, not the funny thing, but the really interesting thing, and I'm going to bring up this, hang on one second, bear with me. This link that, hang on a second. Yeah, I'm going to bring this up. I hope this is the right link. What is very interesting is that, can you see the screen? Is that people, it's funny because in a Facebook business page, people will tend to just click on like. So you'll see that there are, you know, maybe hundreds or 150 likes, depending on how many followers you have, but there's not a lot of engagement and interaction. Whereas the opposite happens in a Facebook group. There might be less likes, like for example, on this post that Joan did, there were only like 18 likes, you know, but a lot of engagement, 27 engagement in this one example. Sometimes there've been many more comments, but fewer likes. So the tables turn a little bit, but that's what you want. You want people to really type in comments and engage in your posts. So, you know, this was a post that we pulled out to show you, and people were just, you know, look at the post. They're sending photos of themselves. They're sending introductions of themselves and who they are and why they're interested in being in this group. And then what happened is that the community manager of this Facebook group would go in and start a one-on-one conversation with them, which is very, very powerful, and wanted to know if they were interested in taking on any of Joan's courses and enrolling in her online programs. And there were a lot of sales that happened through that, which is pretty incredible. So back to the group, I think that we should move on. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. I'm looking at my notes. Yeah, so again, we're getting back to the communication strategy that we spoke about in the beginning. So once the book club is launched, you need to have all your communication pieces in place, which means that you've got all your emails in place, you've got all your social posts, and then it's really important to cross-promote, as Eleanor mentioned in the beginning. If you are on other social media platforms like LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever you are, cross-promote there and pull people into your Facebook group. And of course, the most important thing, if you've got a Facebook business page, you must post there all the time to migrate people into your Facebook group all the time. And then you'll be sending in between your lives, you'll be sending out summaries of what's been going on in your group. So of course, this all needs to be planned in advance and ahead of time. So there's really nothing worse than having to write an email in the last minute and getting into that panic-stricken moment where you don't have enough time to write something of value. So you need to have your reminders all written out. You need to be consistent in when you're sending them out. There needs to be somebody active on the Facebook group, building relationships. And then you'll see as the Facebook group grows, it has a life. It becomes a life on its own. You know, it takes on its own momentum, and there's a lot of user engagement that happens even without you, so that you don't need to be there with your full energy all the time. The users are kind of there's a snowball effect with the users, and they pitching in and creating all this amazing engagement and user generated content. So yeah, that's what I spoke about, is mapping out the content.
If I can just chime in for a second, a part of the content that's really important is the way you send out emails to people as the book club is unfolding. So you need to send out reminder emails the day before, a reminder email an hour before, and a summary email right after. So some people think this is too many emails, but this is definitely not the truth. People are looking for these kinds of reminders so that they will be able to, a lot of people come to the replays, they don't come to the live readings. And if you look in the worksheets, I've actually mapped out a really good framework of 3 emails that you can use. Areas that are highlighted in yellow should be tweaked and customized to you. And then there's also comments. It's a Google Doc, so you can save it in your own drive. And please don't write on it. You can save it in your own drive and customize it. There's areas that are highlighted in yellow also with comments on how you can tweak it to your own needs.
Yeah, so getting back to the execution, again.
We can't see the slide.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, so execution.
Yep. No, we can't see the slide.
You can't see it? Stop the share. Hang on 1 second.
Just share the slide.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know why it stopped sharing all the time. Here we go. You can see it now, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So when we talk about execution, again, it's all to do with the planning. The planning is so vital and important to getting the execution piece right. So when you've got all your ducks in a row, you're ready to go and everything is there waiting for you. Again, we spoke about having all your emails ready and scheduled ahead of time. If you're using an email service provider, it's really easy to do. It's not a big deal. You write out the emails and you schedule them the day before, the day of, a reminder, and then the summary email goes out an hour after your Facebook Live.
And I really think it's important to just batch this content out so that in go time, when it's go time, you don't have to worry about what to write, what to send people. You just need to click the button and go. And the framework that we provided for you in the worksheets, they give you all this information so you can just write these out ahead of time and just schedule them.
And the same goes for your social media posts. You can schedule your social media posts. And the wonderful thing about a Facebook group, this is a real good tip that nobody really knows for some reason, is that you can schedule your posts in your Facebook group. You can also do that on your business page, but nobody knows you can schedule on groups, which is such a nifty, handy thing to do. And you can schedule them out, way in advance, so you don't need to worry. And it's really, really useful. It saves so much time. Very important, very, very important is, and this is another thing that we have in the document that is in the chat, is to put together a lead sheet. So you've got this Facebook group and you are pulling in leads like crazy. And so we hope this is going to be the scenario. We have seen this happening. And
for the purpose of our conversation, though, leads are people who are expressing interest in your work and asking you, how can I work? How can I do this? How can I sign up? How can I work with you?
Exactly. So it's really, you will see that once the community starts getting engaged and people join your group, you start losing a handle on who you've spoken to. You're going back into the history of the chat and the engagement, and it's just very hard to keep track. So if you open up a separate document, for example, an Excel spreadsheet we found has worked really well, and you put the name of the person, there's an exact example, the name of the person, what date you had this discussion, what they're interested in, and what the follow-up is. You've always got these notes with you, and you always know what's going on. And after each live, I would highly suggest going to that document and putting in the people that want to continue a conversation or wrote down something in the comments, to put them into this lead sheet so that you can really keep track of them.
So I also, in the worksheet that I created here, there's a lead sheet template where you can just copy and paste it into an Excel spreadsheet, and it actually ties in. It gives you fields for people who join You write their name and also the questions that they answered. What are their answers? And then as people are commenting and you add them and you follow through their path of like how they're commenting or what they're saying and how you're following up, you can see the questions that they asked as they were coming in or the answers that they answered as they came in and their comments as they're engaging in the Facebook group. And you can see this, the template on the worksheet.
Right. And so as you've planned out the weekly sessions of your Facebook lives, right? The first 4 Facebook lives are really all about that connection with your group and the people that are joining your group. And as they're getting to know, like, / love and trust you, they're getting much more familiar with you, and it's really in about the 4th Facebook Live that you're doing, it's a really, that would be the time to start inserting pieces and comments about how they can work together with you, and it's a natural progression, really. You can weave it so wonderfully into your message about the services and your offerings. And there's, if they want to take you up, they can, DM you, they can contact you directly. And that's the beauty of a Facebook group, is that you can get on a one-on-one conversation and get into that deeper level with somebody and know how you can help them and how they can work with you.
So just as an example, let's just say you're going through a chapter in your book, and as you're talking about the chapter and the topics or any kind of teachings, you can say, and this is something that we take a lot more deeply in my course about said topic. If you're interested, pop a comment below and I'll get back to you with more information about this course, knowing ahead of time that your course is about to launch or your program is about to launch. But you need to infuse examples of how people have already gotten results or what experience that they've already had as a result of working with you or reading the book, and give them an opportunity to talk to you more about that and how they can have that too.
So we're getting to the top of the hour. I know we did start, 5 minutes after, so we still have a bit of time, but if you have any questions, please share that in the chat with us. Or
unmute yourselves and ask the questions. But just to wrap things up and just kind of like create some sort of thread between everything we spoke about, to tie everything together, if you zoom out of this whole situation and you were to see the execution of how this entire thing would work in a 4-month period, it would look something like this. You get people to sign up and get on your email list and receive a private invitation to join a Facebook group. And as people are joining the group, you track their answers to questions through the lead sheet. You send them reminder emails the day before, as you're launching the book club, the day before and the day of, to participants, right? Then you also post on social media reminding people to join the group on the days and the meetings of the book club. And then as the author or teacher, you show up for an hour or so to discuss the chapters, the main points, the lessons, everything that ties into your mission, and open up to questions. Then you also send them a summary of email summaries to the book club participants, and also post those on social media. It's basically copies that work in tandem from the email to your social media profiles. And then you follow up and engage with people and track them also in the lead sheet. And it's a very simple process. So as you zoom out, this is exactly how it works. People are coming in, you discuss, you infuse your teachings, you follow up with them, and then you continue communicating with them throughout and also after. But afterwards, there's such momentum, it will become natural. People will communicate with each other, and it will be easy for you to understand what topics people like to engage with, and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a lot of experience doing this, Eleanor and I, and we hope that we've shared our experience with you, and you can take this to the next level and to start your own Facebook group and to start, planning it, putting together a strategy, executing it, you should open think about it, but you should definitely be opening a Facebook group of your own today and start putting in all the information you want to put in and get it up and running today, so that you can start putting together a strategy of how to promote it and what you're going to be doing in your Facebook group.
Or if not, if you have already started, if you're ready to have a Facebook group, it would be a really good idea for you to have your mission and statement of intent to start there and start getting people engaged based on that. And if you've not written a book, you can also use someone else's book as your point of reference or as a way to create a strategy of communication around your teachings.
Absolutely. And, if you would like to work together with Eleanor and I, and you feel that maybe you can't do this on your own, or you would like to get some strategy and some input on how to set this off and how to get going with this, and then, you can take it on your own, we'd be really happy to work with you. And we're offering a strategy session to do this together with you if you're interested. And we would love to position you to put together, a fantastic Facebook group for your mission and your voice and your book if you have one, or just for your products and services and what you want to do in there. So we will put the link to schedule a call with us if you're interested to take us up on this.
So this is, if you look at the worksheets and you want to have them customized per your business, right. Or when we get on such a call, which would be a 90-minute call, we can help you with three things. One is choose your mission, to help you craft your mission and get your words out into your community in a way in the language of your community, in a way that will resonate with them. We can help you create content. We'll give you ideas on how to create a buzz around your mission, or a content plan with some topics, and we'll help you with your communication ideas and how to engage your group consistently. Anything that is surrounding the communication plan and strategy around your group and your subject of expertise. And the investment for this is only $250, and we won't be offering it very for a long period of time. So we encourage you to hop on this offer, because I know one of the biggest blocks or challenges that people have is to hone in on their voice and to just formulate the words so that people will come to them. And this does happen. People will come to you as soon as you find the sweet spot between what is happening in your thoughts and how you can help people, and the language of how they need you to help them. So we can do this in 90 minutes for you.
Wonderful.
No questions? No questions?
No questions, but hopefully people, let's see, people will have questions. Let's see. Paul, thank you. This is awesome and very, very generous of you to share this valuable information. You're so welcome. And it's been so much fun.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's been so much fun to put this together. I know that there was a lot of information here, but if you do watch the replay and you work on the documents that we sent you, it really makes it much easier for you. And there is really a clear-cut strategy and plan. So we hope you enjoyed it. Shoot us questions. If you have any, we'll be here to answer you. And if you'd like to take us up on our strategy session, please do so. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will speak to you soon.
Thank you. Nobody else has questions? You sure? Last minute?
Well, I had a question about let's see, I made a note here. I guess in terms of the LinkedIn, Instagram, like cross-promoting, you can never, it's almost like tangled, but sometimes I feel like I create new content all the time. And then also that there is, then there's redundancy. So that's why I keep doing new things. But I think the way you're saying it, and one of the things that might be very important is to actually do the exact same thing, like in a few different places. I tend to send an email out, then I write something on Facebook, it's totally different. Then I might, so I do a lot of that thinking that, oh, I know certain people saw it. So I like to do new things as opposed to repeating it. So that was a good reminder. And if you have anything to speak to that about it.
So it's so important to focus, and you have teachings. The more you teach your teachings in one directed thought stream, the more powerful they will be. Also for you, because coming up with content all the time is like,
Yes.
I mean, as creatives, and you're a creative person because you tap into your creativity often, you're like, oh, this is a good idea, this is a good idea, this is a good idea. But ahead of time, this is why we say ahead of time, if you map out the topics and the things you want to talk about and you write them out, all you have to do is, and don't tell anyone the secret, is copy paste.
Yes.
Obviously, if it's on Facebook, you have to say, join my group. In Instagram, you say link in bio, or you just change the one piece that's relevant to that platform. And something that I see often is people cross-posting from Instagram to Facebook, and they write link in bio, and I'm like, they forgot to change that line.
Yes.
Not that it really matters in the grand scheme of things, because your message is on top. But you basically don't have to write the same things over. You can map out your content strategy and then do it in your email, in your Facebook, and in your Instagram. And something also that we've done before is if you go live, for example, all you have to do is send an email to your list and say, hey, I went live today. Did you see this is the main topic, a very brief description, and just a link to the video.
Mm-hmm. To remind people to go and watch it or something.
To just send them there. Exactly.
Yeah. And I missed your lives that you must have been doing during the week, but then I got one that just popped in message yesterday. I don't know who sent it to me. One, I think it was, so that's the way I popped on. I was like, oh, sounds good. And I thought maybe whoever you were organizing would be reading a book together, and you were doing an online book club. So, you were offering a lot of different things today. So I appreciate it. I know some of it for myself or someone else could be new or something that I know, but I got to hear it with some fresh eyes and with your voices. So I appreciate you being here and offering your time. And it's very enticing. It's like, oh yes, I'd love to do this, but there's certain things that I know and certain things that I completely don't know. But, I know that, I hopped on this call for a purpose today. So again, I appreciate you being here, and I'm glad I could be here as well.
Are you thinking of doing a book club with
You're freezing a little bit.
Doing readings, no?
Yes. I mean, there's so
Did I not see you go on a Facebook Live and do reading?
You broke up a little bit. That's all. I don't know if this is going to be playing, a repeat replay, and it might not have frozen at your end, but at my end it froze. So what was the question?